Saskatchewan Women's Curling Tour Swift Current event. We have Michelle Englot and Robyn Silvernagle. My name is Chris Heichert. You're stuck with me for the duration of this curling game. I'm gonna throw my hat in the ring and see if I can take a crack at commentating. So definitely feel free to let me know how poor, or even how poorer I get as I drink beer, watch our riders while commentating these ladies out on the ice. First stand right off the hop here, she looked like she might be the typical first stand snooze fest. Up and down the sheet, open hits, the ladies feeling out the ice. Nobody wanting to take too many big chances too early. It's been an excellent weekend down here in Swift Current. 12 teams made the trip down to the southwest here. And we battled it all the way down to the two top seeds in the event, Michelle Englot, Robyn Silvernagle. They both qualified through the A event and have now met up in the final here. It would be nice if I had somebody commentating with me. It's pretty boring chatting with myself, but I guess I have all you viewers out there tuning in, probably putting me on mute. Looks like Michelle Englot has won the draw to the button, so she has hammer here in this first end. How these spiels typically work is it's a draw to the button before the game starts. Whoever's the closest to the pin, that's who starts the game with the hammer. Once you get into the playoffs, how it works is it's the higher seeded team. So if you won the A event, you're the higher seeded team over a B event winner. In this case, both Englot and Silvernagle qualified through the A event. So there wasn't a higher seeded team, so they both had to draw for the button here. And like that wily old veteran does, she must have put her on the lid and landed the hammer. Speaking of wily old veterans, Coach Jerry Adam is upstairs here. He and his mustache are tuning in to watch Team Englot battle it out here in the final. Last shot here for Jesse here in the first end. We have been treated to some fantastic shot making all weekend long. Great ice conditions, and typically good ice conditions is conducive to great shot making. And these ladies have been putting on a show for us here in Swift Current. I'm just queuing up the live stream myself here, so I'm looking for an overhead view as to whether that back red one's biting or not. Again, my name's Chris Heichert. I am the general manager of the Swift Current Curling Club, as well as the painful one commentating for you folks today. Got to be careful here with this one. There is the jam possibility, and that would spell disaster. That being said, you roll out, it leaves the opportunity to freeze to that back one. So a difficult shot here for Robyn in the first end. Robyn couldn't have made that shot much better. Now she turns the tables and puts the difficult shot in Michelle Englot's hands, having to get rid of that rock, hopefully stick around, and hopefully not jam. Michelle Englot with her first shot in the first end. Right off, that's typically never a good sign. Clean would be better. That's an excellent shot. Avoided the jam there in the back and stuck around in the rings. This end's shaping up to be a blank if Michelle can execute her last one. That might be putting the cart before the horse, though. Robyn Silvernagle has a hit and stick ahead of her here. Great shot by Robyn with a hit and stick there. So Michelle Englot is left with a routine hit and roll out to get the blank here in the first end. You know what? I have no clue whether there is a chat function while you're watching, but if there is, chime in on the chat function. Let me know where you're watching from. Michelle Englot throwing this one from the hip. On, off. And she sticks around and gets forced to one. That's always the risk you take. Playing it clean like that you boil down to having to make that last shot for the blank. So Michelle Englot will get forced to one in the first end of the Swift Current Women's Tour event here in Swift Current, Saskatchewan.
Pair up super fast internet and incredible TV for applause-worthy savings. Alrighty, I'm back here to kick off the second end. And much like the first end, red goes top 4. Robyn Silvernagle doesn't like where that rock's sitting, so she's electing to play the hit. And nicely done by Dana Demers. She hits that on the nose. Dana Demers, I believe, is from northern Saskatchewan, the Meadow Lake area, if not right in the town of Meadow Lake. So that's a bit of a drive down old highway number 4, straight south to Speedy Creek. Dana was taking no chances. She decided to come bright and early on Friday. Even came down before the event started and threw a couple rocks. Okay, Robyn does not see any concern with that rock in the top 8, top 12 foot now. Time to make the move. Let's get a corner guard up and let's start playing a little curling. Clean's always a good sign. I'm sure they're looking for a 2-2-3. Right above the Winmar sign would be a nice spot for that corner guard. So when throwing guards, definitely important to take it into consideration how much swing there is out on the ice. If you have a lot of swing, high guards are almost useless, as rocks that you hide behind the high guards can easily be taken out with a hack weight. And we have excellent ice here in Swift Current. Jason Broughton, the head ice maker, he's got a nice speed of 14 to 14 and a half. And it starts off that speed from the first rock of the game. And that typical 4 to 4.5 feet of curl, which is typically plenty. Heard a lot of good things from the ladies this weekend with regards to the curl, the speed, the ice in general. Swift Current's pretty fortunate to have, in my opinion, one of the best ice makers in Saskatchewan, preparing our ice for us day in and day out. Well, looks like we got us a game now, folks. We got a corner went up, center guard. She's go time. On a different note, how about them Rough Riders? 10-7 for the green and white here. We call this pillar to post. When you get on it right out of their hands and you sweep her pillar to post, then she just hairs by the guard with a pistol of a shot. I'm assuming she would have wanted to have killed that red one. That being said, Robyn made the decision that she's going for it this end. She's looking to score a crooked number to hang on the scoreboard. So having rocks behind the tee line that aren't yours might come in handy or might benefit you. So that red rock is of no concern to Robyn. She can see about 2/3 of this rock, so a little hit and stick with nice easy board weight is the call. And she makes no mistake. Nice hit on the nose. Very consistent, the ice out here. As long as you throw the right weight, the rock should consistently do what you need to. So throwing the right weight for the right ice, extremely important in this game of curling. Now, I don't know if I should wander over behind sheet 5 and let Coach Jerry Adam know that there's a curling game going out here, because it looks like he won't peel his eyes away from that rider game and that TV, but Jerry Adam has been very successful, not only as a curler, but as a coach as well, coaching teams all over the world. Very recently, he coached a team up at Saskatoon, Team Newfoundland, I believe, in the Canadian Junior event, and they did quite well. I believe they were in the playoffs, maybe even lost the final. So Jerry brings a lot of experience to any team that he works with, as he's been there, done that. Okay, I'm turning my attention to the football game. There's some excitement going on here. Yes, sirree. Go Roughies! Uh-oh, that was a miscue there by the third on Team Englot. Like I said, this ice can make you look real good out here if you throw it nice and clean, nice and consistent. It can also make you look not so good out here if you do have the incorrect weight for the ice, or you throw them like me and you roll them in a bit or set that old out turn back a bit. It can make you look foolish out here too. And I'm no stranger to looking like a fool. This is my home club here where I compete in the Thursday Night Super League. That is another miss there from Jesse Hunkin, the third for Robyn Silvernagle, and it kind of let the old fireball Michelle Englot off the hook here. Looking just for a hit and stick. Not too concerned about that center guard. It's high enough that if you did ever roll behind it, it would be easy to get to. It looks as if Robyn is looking to score this end. This is an aggressive call. She's going on the offense. She'd like to come around that center guard and put it top 4 foot. Anything deeper than top 4 foot allows Michelle just to follow her down and freeze to it. The chance at a multiple score would be tough, so very important to place this rock in the top 4, top 8 foot. Again, we're looking pillar to post here. Right out of her hand, they're brushing this one. It looks like she stops just short of being shot rock. Very aggressive call, but Robyn saw that as the best way to get her deuce. But that puts the ball back in Michelle's court that she's able to draw and lie to. And put some pressure on Robyn here early in the second end of the final matchup in the Swift Current Women's Curling Tour down here in old Speedy Creek, Saskatchewan. Saskatchewan or Saskatchewan? Well, today, now the Rough Riders are playing, I'm afraid she's Saskatchewan, baby. Stuffies! This one looks good here for Michelle. They're kind of nicely cleaning it. Top 8 foot, top 4 foot would be ideal. And the old Fireball makes no mistake. She puts this dead buried top button. And the heat is on. And it's on the sheet. Robyn has her work cut out for her now to make sure that she scores here. Who the heck sings that song? The heat is on sheet. Okay, I won't do that again. Not a pile of ice she's taking here on this one. I believe the call would be much like a board or a hackish, kind of hit and roll away, but still stay shot rock. So that Michelle is forced to hit her, and she'll have an easy draw for her single. Disaster. That is not ideal for Team Silvernagle here. She's going to be in tough to score a point now. So Michelle Englot was tapping just to go top 12 foot. Not sure I'm sold on that call. I think you just wrap one right on top of the 4 foot and really put some heat on. But there's a reason why they're out on the ice and I'm up here drinking beer. Excellent opportunity to steal here for Michelle. Steal multiple if you did wrap one top 4 foot. Same shot as her last. But although steal is great, it's mission accomplished if you can force the other team to a single point and turn that hammer over. And that's Michelle's plan here this end. Seems to be running a little bit. The sweepers are off it. There was a late audible call to go back 4, back 8 foot. Didn't quite get there. Not the desired result I don't think Michelle was looking for. She knew she had the force in the books, but she wanted to make the shot as tough as possible on Robyn. Ladies and gentlemen, this ain't good. They're packing the bar up here in Swift Current. Coach Jerry Adam just is not spending enough money up at the bar to warrant keeping open. Tricky little shot here. She cannot afford to go anywhere. What an absolute pistol by Robyn Silvernagle. She makes the hit and stick right on the pinhole for her 1 point here in the second end.
Saskatchewan, you know SaskTel, because we're everywhere. Because being everywhere keeps us connected to you. You are what matters most. With SaskTel sponsorships, we get to be a part of your community. From the dance competitions, to the rodeos, to helping discover and embrace technology across the province. We're here with you, and we're here for you. It's easy to get started. All you need to do is apply. Every year, SaskTel contributes nearly $3 million to approximately 1,000 nonprofits, charities, associations, and events in more than 200 communities across Saskatchewan. So keep dancing, keep laughing, keep discovering, and we'll be there to help, to lend a hand, and join in the fun. SaskTel cares. Always has, always will, because we are dedicated to our home. To apply for sponsorship, visit SaskTel.com/sponsorships.
Alrighty, we're back here to kick off the third end of the Saskatchewan Women's Tour event here in Swift Current. It is a 1-1 ball game out here, trading singles. Englot definitely kicking herself, probably wanting that draw back again. You go top 12, top 8, it makes it real tough for Team Silvernagle to score a point. But that's water under the bridge, folks. We're in the third end here now. We got a center guard went up, and it looks like she's go time. Englot making no mistake. She wants to get after it, and it's evident with this come around here. She's calling. Now I know I'm in tough here competing with the rider game. There might be one, maybe two viewers out there tuning into this game versus the rider game. And the ones that decided to do that, unfortunately, are stuck with the general manager of the Swift Current Curling Club, Chris Hickert, who has the call. The lounge manager had to offer me free beer in order for me to commentate this game versus tune into the Roughies. But I'm doing double duty here upstairs in the lounge at Swift Current. Nice shot there by Dana Demers. Got her tight center guard up. And then a nice freeze with her second shot. That's a 4 for 4 on her first, 4 for 4 on her second, and that's a good end for Dana. She's done her part. Anytime you can make those real good freezes, it really shrinks the scoring area. Makes it tougher to score the multiple. Beautiful weight on that shot. She just slipped a foot or two deep. And that leaves a real good opportunity here for Kristen Streifel, second for Robyn Silvernagle, to lock one on and really shrink that scoring area. Well, Kristen Streifel here. Looks like she has a beauty. Coming up a little bit light. I think the ideal goal was to lock one on there. But rocks in the top of the rings can always be promoted. So if you're going to miss, that is the right way to miss. Keep it in a spot where you can use it. Seeing a lot of these young ladies out here sure makes me show my age. Majority of their moms and dads are people I played against back in the day. Kristen's mom, Tracy Streifel, used to be a very competitive top-level curler here in Saskatchewan. What a pistol by Team Englot with the come around coming top 4 foot. That has Robyn in a bit of a pickle. So the general rule of thumb is if you throw a dud on your first one or hoop your team on your first one, basically a miss, you have no other options but to make a pistol on your second one and make up for it. And I'm anticipating Streifel here is going to make a pistol to make up for that first one coming a bit light. I'm afraid if she doesn't, Robyn may inform her that she'll be looking for a new curling team due to personal reasons. Nice little angle run back from Kristen there. Great shot, but not out of the woods. She needed to nut that right there on the top 4 foot. Matter of fact, there was a run double there as well to lie 2, but it gets them out of a little trouble for now, unless Michelle Englot's team can wrap one in here and put it in the exact same spot. Pillar to post again. The ladies are on this one. Looks like a lot more line on this one. A lot more line and came up a little bit light. I believe Red still shot rock. But you know, I'd like to give a great big shout out to a few people, starting with Rory McCusker. Rory McCusker is here live down in Swift Current. We have him tucked away in the closet. He's been the man behind switching of the camera angles, some of the graphics. Yeah, a lot of the behind the scenes stuff that goes on to put together what we're calling a Tier 2 production, which is what you're watching right now. Rory is the man, so we'd like to thank Rory for coming down to Swift Current and helping us out with this live stream and giving you all the opportunity to tune in and watch this great curling. One of the men behind all this, Jerry Gertz. I'd like to thank him. He reached out to the Swift Current Curling Club in the summertime. And he had this idea or this vision about this curling stadium. And as always, I thought the guy was losing his marbles. But he convinced the curling club to jump on board, and the Swift Curling Club is extremely grateful. He reached out to us. We have had a lot of good reviews and feedback from people that have been able to tune in and watch the live feed and watched firsthand some of the grassroots curling that goes on here in our curling club. It was an excellent partnership to team up with them, and the Swim Curling Club is excited to continue to host big events for people to watch live stream from anywhere on any device or tablet. Uh-oh, folks, looks like yellow is now line 2, and that's not good news for Coach Jerry Adam. I just seen him waddle back up to the bar. I don't know if he's going for a Sunday Caesar or what he's going for, but the opponents are line 2, so that's got the coach some movement upstairs. Jesse Hunkin. I believe she's being asked to throw up a real tight guard on those two in the rings. Girls are on it for weight. Now they're on it for line. Both sweepers sweeping on the same side of the rock, really trying to promote that rock to curl. I'll tell you what, folks, sweeping has changed so much in the last 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years. I don't know whether I'm coming or going or left hand sweeping or right hand sweeping. You notice a lot of teams approach it differently, have different views and ideas. There's been many studies done on it, many of them with differing scientific results as to what makes a rock curl more, hold straight. It's a beautiful shot. Shot rock, redstone, behind a wall of yellow guards. Old fireball, Michelle Englot got to be happy with that shot there, lying one buried with hammer here in the third end. That shows you how much curl there is out on the ice here. You see that red rock, which is a full foot or a full rock width over buried around that high guard. Michelle Englot has the place packed with her fans, as her niece, I believe, is down here watching the curling in person. You get an opportunity to see a 8 or 9 time provincial champion Scotties representative live and in person. You make sure you can get your butt down to the rink to watch that, and that's exactly what myself and her niece Brooke are doing down here today. So Michelle with hammer here in the third end. Her thought process is, how do I score a multiple end here? Robyn's goal is to get that force in an away end and have the hammer coming home. And Michelle's all in to try to score a multiple point end here. and take control of this game here in the third end. Michelle doesn't make a good one here. Maybe her team will send her packing for personal reasons. Lots of buzz in the Canadian curling world in the last day or two. You're already seeing the post-trials team shuffles start to happen, with a big shake-up here recently with the defending Brier champions Brennan Botcher announcing that they are in the market for a new third. I'm not sure, folks. Do you think I still got time to blow the dust off? And I'd have to lose 30 pounds by tomorrow, but maybe I got a chance. When I heard that they were looking for a new third, I'll have to admit I had kale for supper last night and a cucumber sandwich this morning, and I looked at the treadmill. Team Silvernagle's last shot here in the third end. That is a tight port. She's planning on coming through, but I think there's a possibility for a double, and she would lie a mittful if she were to make this shot. That red is about edge on edge with the guard, so you would need some curl after the guard in order to make the double. But again, with this great playing service that we have here, it's conducive to high percentage shot making and great shot making. That is an absolute pistol from Robyn Silvernagle, the bigger born curler. Robyn has had success throughout junior ranks, representing Saskatchewan at the Nationals in juniors, and she's carried those successes on into the women's curling. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but she may be the defending Saskatchewan provincial champion, but I tell you what, this COVID has wreaked havoc on what I recall, what there's been for curling. You know what, Sherry Anderson, there's another old wily vet that always seems to be in the hunt every play down year. Speaking of wily vets, Michelle Englot has a difficult shot here to navigate that port to make sure she scores. There might be a double there, but that would need a lot of curl after the guard, and I'm going to say it ain't there, and this is a hit and roll to the top of the pin for her one. Not easy by any means. I think that hit and rolled just a little too far, and that could have been a steal of one.
It's time to give your old phones a fresh start. When you donate your old phones at a SaskTel store, we put phones and phone cards into the hands of people in transition shelters fleeing domestic abuse and youth transitioning out of social services care. Be the reason behind someone's fresh start. Learn more at sasktel.com/fresh start.
Well, folks, here we go, kicking off the fourth end. Silvernagle with the steal of one there in the third end to go up 2-1 after 3 ends of play. Here in Swift Current, Saskatchewan, located down in the southwest corner of our great province. Home to approximately 17,000-ish people, give or take. And also home to one of the nicest curling clubs in Saskatchewan, the Swift Current Curling Club. Alrighty, I'm just a little bit biased, but we are treated to an excellent facility here. And a big thank you goes out to the City of Swift Current, who have been excellent partners to work with to ensure that we're able to offer this great sport down in the southwest corner of Saskatchewan. Well, she's go time now, folks. One rock slips back of the rings. Corner guard goes up by the wily vet. And Robyn's calling for a center guard, so we should be in for a treat this end with lots of rocks in play. Dana Demers, lead for Robyn Silvernagle. She just kind of does her thing day in, day out, making shots, goes about her business. And that's what you want from your lead. Setting the ends up is crucial to the difficulty degree for every other thrower behind you. If you can get your first 2 rocks set up nice. Alrighty, folks, I have to pause from the game here. I got to turn my eye to the roughy game. Yardo just layered one out. Oh, he just missed it. Threw that football a foot too deep. Much like Dana Demers threw her second stone a foot too deep as she was trying to make a real nice tight guard. It gives Michelle Englot the opportunity to hit that rock and roll to the wings and get the house set up. Oh, these banjo picking hillbilly Winnipegites. I've made a wager with a few guys from work. I got Rough Rider faith. That's a fumble, folks. I got Rough Rider faith, so I bet my money on the Riders to win this game. So I'm drinking Pilsner, betting on Riders, watching curling. You got damn right, I'm a true born blood bred Saskatchewanite. Okay, let's get back to some curling action here. Kristen Streifel being asked to come around that tight center guard. Looks like plenty of weight from up in the corner. They got me tucked in at the Swift Current Curling Club, but yellow lies 2. Michelle is not liking the setup of that center guard there. That's what's going to get her in trouble. So she has called a very veteran call here. Tap that one behind the corner and roll into the rings. Now there's 2 red ones left. Robyn has decision time. Does she guard her 2 or does she hit the open one? And Michelle goes on attack mode, trying to move everything over behind that corner guard. Veteran call here. I like it. That's got Robyn Silvernagle scratching her head now. Again, keeping that forefoot open is important to scoring. And utilizing those corner guards is how you're going to score a multiple point end. Not sure if anyone had a chance to tune into the CBC live interviews with Brennan Bochter and Darren Moulding. I did not get a chance to tune in to listen to it all. Curious to hear how that all played out. Definitely a big splash in the men's curling world. And right before men's playdowns. And the Brier definitely caught some attention, but that may only be the start. I think you're going to see a lot of juggling going around in the men's and women's ranks. As day one began, the day the top teams lost out of the trials, to begin to put together the potent foursome that can compete in the next quadrennial to get to that ever coveted Olympics. While I was giving shout outs, I should throw a shout out to a gentleman by the name of John Benton. John Benton is out of Minnesota. He is the Yankee that is behind a lot of this curling stadium production team. Whether it's putting the team sponsors that you can see up on the screen, or whether it's turning cameras off and off, on and off, scheduling. Big part of the curling stadium, and I know he's a great partner for Jerry Gertz and a big part of the team in producing some of this great live streamed curling that we're fortunate enough to watch. Robyn has plenty of center guards, and now she is definitely going on the offense, hoping to draw around here to lie one, maybe two, maybe three. No, they're not quite clearing women and children out of the way, but I think her weight is pretty good. Probably slipped a foot too deep than desired, but lying 2 or 3, all buried, never a bad thing. The Coug Michelle Englot is just calling for a back 4-foot tap back and sit shot rock with a wall of yellows behind her red. Now there's a chance they're clearing women and children out of the way out of this one. Just got the little kiss off the guard and rolls over to lie third shot. Robyn keeping the pressure on. She's going to elect to draw one top 4-foot to lie a mittful. Oh, Ruppies! Nice reception for a quick 20 yards. 22-yard gain. Looking dead light on this one. But dead light does the trick. She's guarding both those shots. Sarah England has some work ahead of her here now, looking like she's going to have to either A, clear things up in the front, or even better, run one of those redbacks into the yellows. I think if she just hits on the high side of that red, things could look good. She'll just peel the one rock off, leaving yellow line 2. Pretty neat that curling teams here in Saskatchewan can come compete at the Swift Current Curling Club, where the SaskTel curling stadium system is in place. Every single game this weekend has been live streamed all across the world, that you have access to it on your tablet, on your cell phone, on your iPad, on your computer, on your smart TV. Instant access on every sheet, every game, all event long. That's game changing in the sport of curling. And I'd like to thank the curling stadium team for all their hard work in putting this all together. And what a perk for these curling teams as well. Sponsorship is huge for every curling team, and curlers can't do what they do without the support from local businesses and partners. And this is just another perk that curling teams can offer to their sponsors, is that they can broadcast all over the world their sponsors that support them on the live streams that thousands of people tune into to watch. As many of you may know, we hosted an elite men's Spiel here on Thanksgiving weekend back in October called the IG Wealth Management Western Showdown. And that 4-day event, and now I wouldn't quote me on these, but I believe we received close to 315,000 views, which equated to over 5.2 million minutes of viewed live streamed curling across the world. Statistics like that are just amazing, that we're able to show grassroots curling right up to the elite level curling all across the world, and people are tuning in to watch. Okay, a lot of babbling from me. Let's get back into the game. How's things looking? Pair of yellow guards up there. Yellow line 2. Michelle, the wily vet Englot with the hammer here in the 4th end, desperately looking to score some points. Well, folks, while they're cackling down there on the ice, this might be a great time, seeing how the riders are at commercial break, to zip to the fridge, grab yourself a Pilsner, and get back here and tune in. Please, folks, if you are tuning in and you are watching this live, I don't know if there's a like button, but if there's a like button, if there's a share button, definitely like and share this link to the live streaming Curling Stadium is definitely really trying to showcase what they're able to do with their camera systems installed in local curling clubs, and the more people we can push this out to, the better. Give them the opportunity to watch. You know what, as far as I'm concerned, two of the top teams in all of Saskatchewan battling it out here in Swift Current for the championship prize. Englot trying to navigate a very tight port. Just feathers the outside red guard. That's going to leave her in a world of hurt here for her last one, as Robyn is looking at coming in top 4 to lie 3. All buried. And put some pressure on. I am going to go on a limb and say that the ice may have straightened up slightly throughout the duration of the weekend. I do know at the start of the weekend these ladies were taking well into the 12-foot to draw that top button. You can see the ice Jessie has here for her skip, Robyn Silvernagle, is at the edge of the 8-foot. But still plenty of curl out here and very conducive to high percentage shot making. Well, I think that does the trick. Yellow is line 3. Englot is in a world of hurt here in the 4th end. It looks like Michelle is going to elect to play the angle tap back against 3 for her 1 point. Ladies and gentlemen, I know you're looking for any possible way to not have to listen to me anymore. But if Michelle happens to throw up a donut on this shot, there's a chance this game could be over, folks, and you will get your wish. Michelle's been one of the best last rock throwers for the past 1, 2, 3, 4, even close to 5 decades. I'm quite confident she's going to be very close at making this shot here. She's one of Saskatchewan's best. The girls went pillar to post on that one, but this one is going to look like it's going to over curl. And Team Robyn Silvernagle is looking at stealing 3 lemons. Alrighty, folks, we're going to go to break here. That has Robyn Silvernagle up 5-1 after 4 ends of play.
So the difference is Infinet gives us a direct fiber optic connection. Therefore, we have lots of capacity to deliver every packet. And Optimum in-home Wi-Fi uses band steering to deliver consistent performance in every room. That, combined with the bandwidth of Infinet, means that we can have all our...
Infinet is fast, it's consistent, and direct to our door.
Or 2.4 or 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi.
Enjoy the speed of infinite with the coverage of Optimum in-home Wi-Fi.
We're back with the first drop of the fifth end here at the Saskatchewan Women's Curling Tour event here in Swift Current, Saskatchewan. Well, with the football going on, I made a promise to the young ladies out on the ice that if there was a 3-ball taken, that I would make some sort of field goal reference. Not good when it's a steal of 3, but in any event, there was a field goal out there, a field goal of 3 lemons for Robyn Silvernagle to put the score 5-1 after 4 ends of play. Speaking of field goals, what are our roughies doing here? It looks like they're in a barn burner as well. I got some heavy skin riding on this game. I bet a few folks down at the fire hall betting on my riders, so I need them to come through for me. And it ain't gonna happen if that continues to happen. Them banjo picking Manitoilets are up on us now, soon to be 14-10 in the Western final. Alrighty, here, before I get into the curling game, let's talk about the event and the path these teams took. Starting with Robyn Silvernagle. She was the top-seeded team in the event, and she had the bye. She played Friday at 5:30 against Sherry Just, and I tell you what, that was a barn burner back and forth with Silvernagle down a pile early, but she was able to come back and squeak out a win there, which put her up against Ashley Howard in a qualifier. Again, back and forth game. Silvernagle squeezed that out, and she won the A event. The A event winners in these events advance right to the semifinal. Michelle Englot, on the other hand, was the second-rated team in the event, and she played young lady, the last name of Mitchell, for her first game. And she mopped the floor with them, moved on to the qualifier 1 game against Penny Barker, and I believe they had a battle. Englot coming out on top there, so Englot advanced right to the semi-final. So both Englot and Silvernagle qualified through the A event. Englot getting Ryan Schneider in her semi-final. Silvernagle playing Penny Barker from Moose Jaw. Both of them won their games, and that has us here in the final today. Just to let everybody know that if anybody is interested, you can go to the Swift Current Curling Club YouTube channel, which can be found by going to the Swift Current Curling Club website, or checking out curlingzone.com, where all the games, all weekend long, all season long, all year long, thrown at the Swift Current Curling Club will be archived on the YouTube channels for you to go back and watch your favorite shot, your least favorite shot, or watching people lose their mind when they miss shots. I've been known to tap the old broom once or twice when the sun gets in my eyes and I miss a shot, or God forbid those sweepers mess up. Rumor has it there was some broom tapping going on out here in the semifinals earlier this afternoon, but I wasn't here live to see it. But what a perk we have that we can go back onto these YouTube channels where every game is archived. You can bring up your favorite shots and your least favorite shots. All event and all season. If any of you die-hard curling fans are interested, Team First Avenue Dental, which I'm a member of, curls in the Innovation Credit Union Super League Thursday nights at 7 p.m. Deb Hopley gave me a chicken hat, and I promised her I'd wear it all season long. And Thursdays at 7, you can find me with this chicken hat on, out there battling it out in the Swift Current Curling Club Super League. Sorry folks, I'm trying to do double duty here. I have a curling game to commentate, but my roughies just scored a touchdown. Oh, Fiardo aired that out. And Buddy walks the tightrope. Touchdown, roughies! Up 17 to 14 through 3 quarters of play. Looking good for the green and white, folks. Alrighty, back to the curling game where, yes, we still have a curling game on, although it's 5-1. Michelle has some rocks in play this end, and she's looking to generate some offense. Look at the gear effect on that redstone. That's me bringing out my inner Russ Howard. Tell you what, Michelle just needs to bounce back with a deuce here. Anytime you give up a big end, it's important to bounce back and score some points. And you're right back in it. If she scores 2, you're only down 2 with plenty of curling left. And you're playing with no fear. Down like that, you can afford to get a little risky and go hard for the steals. Jessie Hunkton, she is the import. She hails from Stony something or other, which is just outside of Edmonton. All these out-of-province curlers coming to Saskatchewan to curl, because we have the best curlers, the best ice, and quite frankly, we've got the best football team, and we're just the best province. Unless it comes to men's curling, where we are going on a 40-year drought of winning the Brier. Rick Folk, the Wilson brothers, and Ronnie Mills, back in 1981, I believe. The last team out of Saskatchewan to win the Brier. Rick Folk, Ron Mills, and the Wilson brothers. Jim Wilson still plays a big role as a curler and the president, I believe, of the Newtana Curling Club in Saskatoon. Plenty of yellows in the rings, but that's of no concern to Michelle. Rocks are her friends when you're down 4 points. Sarah England looking for a little bit of a roll behind cover with that one. You know, I got to give a shout out to all the fans, all the family, the moms, the grandmas that are all here helping out so these curlers can compete at the highest level out on the ice. Looking after young ones, babysitting young ones. looking after the husbands that are left alone, that can't cook and clean for themselves while these women are out on the ice. Thank you to everybody that supports these curlers so they can continue to chase their dreams. Bit of a break there for Michelle Englot. She got a rack on the guard from her opponent. Plenty of guards and plenty of rocks in play, so it's just strategically figuring out where to put these rocks so she can possibly score as many points as possible. I know Michelle's thinking she needs 2, but even a field goal out here would get her right back in this ball game. Well, I'd like to welcome Coach Jerry Adam to the curling game here. This is the first time I've seen him glance out onto the ice and take his eyes off his Rough Riders. So welcome to the game, Jerry. Like I said before, Jerry has been an elite coach and an elite curler for many decades, representing Saskatchewan in the Brier several times. One of my most favorite memories of a Brier is when coach of Team Englot, Jerry Adam, curled in the Brier. He curled with Gerald Shimko. Gerald Shimko, Neil Kersons, and Arnie Geisler. And those boys were playing Guy Hemmings. I believe it was in a semi-final of a Brier. And Gerald Shimko had Guy wired. And Guy only had one shot, and he had to draw the side of the pinhole for his point. And I don't know if many of you are old enough to remember that, but that messy-haired Quebec frog put her right on the side of the pin. It was a hell of a curling shot. Great shot here by Sarah England, wrapping one around the corner. The fact that I even remember the names Neil Kerson and Arnie Geisler and Gerald Shimko just goes to show how old and how bald I am. I believe Coach Jerry Adam coached Switzerland team Tiranzoni. And those Swiss teams are some of the top women's teams in the entire world, winning several of the last world championships. Whether it be Bina Fletcher, Savannah Tiranzoni, very good curlers coming out of Switzerland, and a big part has to do with their Canadian coaches. Tell you what, folks, I grew a mustache here for November, but after seeing what Jerry Adam brings to the table with a mustache, I'm glad I shaved my mustache off, never to be seen again. She's of mice and men when I'm comparing my lip snake to the old veteran Jerry Adam. Well, I believe yellow is line 3. The wily vet does have a couple stones left. Now, for me, I would be playing the double and roll. But again, it ain't me. There's a reason I'm up here watching, and they're down there curling. Looks like Michelle has made up her mind. She wants to play the double and roll. I couldn't have guessed it better myself. Thanks for tuning in, folks, all across Saskatchewan and all across the world, tuning in to watch this women's tour event brought to you by Curling Stadium. Michelle successfully executes the double, but ends up rolling out, leaving Robyn the opportunity to possibly go on the offense if she'd like. So this call has me baffled a bit, but I'm not sure what else a guy would do. I think Robyn's thought process here is just eliminate red rocks that could possibly score. Now that yellow rock in the back 8 foot, that thing's buried out of sight and probably not going anywhere unless Michelle was to run that guard back. So by hitting this one out in the wing, you make Michelle make a tough decision. Robyn hits the one, but unfortunately taps the red rock closer to the button to be shot rock, leaving the wily old veteran, Michelle Englot, an out-turn draw to the 4 foot for a deuce, and to get right back in this ball game. Speaking of ball games, what the heck's going on with our Rough Riders? Need the Fiardo and the boys to march the field now. Get right. Snuck the field goal in. No, Curling Stadium, they are Curling Zone, so Curling Club, all on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Feel free to find their pages, like them, share them, add them to your favorites. The Swift Current Curling Club will be bringing you every single rock thrown in our club all season long on our YouTube channel, which can be found by going to our website. And Curling Zone bringing you top-notch curling all across the world, everywhere their infrastructure is installed, including up in Martinsville, Saskatchewan, where senior men's curling is going down. And if you're looking for entertainment, tune in to watch Brad Height out on the curling ice. You get your bang for your buck there, let me tell you. Brad, a fiery, fierce competitor, right into the ripe old master's age. One of Saskatchewan's best, he has been, and a fierce competitor every time he steps out onto the ice. Well, before we go to break, we will throw a stick on those 2 rocks to see if it was 1 or 2 points for Michelle Englot and her foursome. What a great event this was this weekend, bringing some of Saskatchewan's top teams from all across the province, including Penny Barker's foursome out of Moose Jaw, Lorraine Schneider out of the Corona Regina area, Robyn Silvernagle, Michelle Englot. Well, this great overhead view we have, brought to you by the Curling Stadium cameras and Rory McCusker, who's able to zoom right in so we can watch to see who shot rock. And that's quickly determined.
Saskatchewan, you know SaskTel, because we're everywhere, keeping you connected to your family and friends, to your history and culture, to those traditions that make us who we are. SaskTel cares, always has, always will, because we're dedicated to our home.
Alrighty. Michelle Englot got herself a deuce in the 5th end, and that has her back in this ball game. Center guard goes up. Dana Demers makes no mistake, goes top 4 foot, and it's game on. Dana Demers being asked to hit and flop to the wing here. But she's pillar to post out of her hand. Does not want to roll underneath that guard and create a pocket. So although Team Silvernagle is lying 2, it's exactly what Michelle Englot needs to get back into this. Rocks in play. And that center guard is what's going to save her. Although it might be a little long, at some point you might see Michelle try to get another guard up that's a little tighter. When you have lots of swing, as we do here at the Swift Current Curling Club, those long guards make it real easy to get around and still knock opponents' rocks out. Looks like Michelle is asking for a takeout and a little flop over to corner freeze the yellow. She looks close. Excellent shot by the young front end of Michelle Englot. Robyn Silvernagle wastes no time. We're going to get rid of that center guard, which is what's causing her troubles right at this moment. Kristen Streifel with the outturn peel. Just clean her up. Never a doubt. Boom. There it is. No, I'm not totally up on my curling history, but I do believe Kristen Streifel had quite the junior curling career as well, representing Saskatchewan at junior nationals in the past. But this ain't juniors, and we ain't at nationals no more. This is the women's circuit, where you run up against fierce competitors like Michelle Englot, who has seen and done it all, my friends. And you do not want to take your foot off the clutch anytime soon, as Michelle is looking for every way to battle her team back into this. Down 2 points here in the 6th end. Robyn's not wasting any time. Calls for the peel. No mistake from Kristen Streifel. She peels that off, and I can assume we'll see a couple more of these until Michelle decides to make her move on and make a play on something in the rings. As for strategy here, if Michelle and Team Englot could steal at any point, I'm sure they would love to. But also forcing one and getting that hammer back for 7 to try to score a multiple point is also great. Center guard's a call just off the center line. Again, I'd like to throw a great big shout out to the head ice maker here in Swift Current, Jason Broughton. He's been around about as long as Michelle Englot's been around. Seems like forever, but I'll tell you what. We hope he keeps on ticking and he continues to stay around forever, because we at the Swift Current Curling Club here are treated to some of the best ice I've ever thrown on. Very consistent. Speed's always nice and plenty of curl. There's not much more that a curler could ask for. Now granted, if he could find a way to fix my outturn that never seems to curl enough when I set it back, I'd be a happy camper. Jason has an excellent ice crew with him of Alex Minkin, who's been around for, coming up on a decade now. Rachel Schlechter and Shane Cornelson rounds it out, and day in, day out, they give us excellent ice out here to play on. So big thank you to them. And Oh, she was pillar to post for Sarah Englot on that shot, and they just got it over the hog line. Robyn doesn't see that center guard as being any concern. She's going to make a play to hit that one in the rings and lie two here in the sixth end. Great shot by Jesse Hunkin there to make the hit and stick and to lie two with the hammer here in the sixth end. Michelle has a decision to make, and it looks like she wants to double those out and ensure Team Silvernagle isn't able to score more than 1 point here in the sixth end. Swift Current Curling Club is pretty excited to have these top women's curlers all across our province come down here to Speedy Creek to put on a show for many of the spectators that have decided to come down to the rink and watch, and for all you online watching the live stream. The worst part of the weekend may be having to listen to me commentate this final of the Swift Current Curling Club Saskatchewan Women's Curling Tour event championship game. Malfunction at the junction down there in the hack, but I think we got things cleaned up and squared away. I spoke too soon. We still are having a malfunction at the junction. What's that joke? How many curlers does it take to screw in a light bulb? How many does it take to clean a rock? That being said, extremely important to make sure the running surfaces on these rocks are free and clear of all debris. The slightest hair, the slightest sliver, dust, scratch can affect how that rock will operate going down the ice. And it looks like Team Englot has decided they want no part of that rock, especially on a crucial shot such as this. They're going to switch rocks out. Well, here we go, folks. We waited a while to see this shot, so hopefully Michelle doesn't disappoint. Calling the double. She's pillar to post. Young ladies are on it from start to finish. Will they get it by? They do! Now, will they make the double? She won't! Michelle overcurls slightly, jamming the yellow rock. Yellow line one, right on the Winmar button. Ladies and gentlemen, this just in, our broadcasters have been notified that those ice makers I was just bragging up failed to put the Stark and Marsh bumper pads behind the sheet of this championship game. So I take everything back that I said about our ice makers. We're back to the drawing board, folks. I'll possibly be putting a posting out tomorrow morning. If you're interested in being an ice maker at the Swift Current Curling Club, please send your resume to myself. And please note on your resume if your skills and abilities include being able to put bumper pads out behind the sheets before games, you will move to the top of the list. Robyn Silvernagle electing to draw to the top of the, I believe she called top 8 foot. You know, ideally if she was just nibbling the 4 foot would be a great shot. Coming in with a little bit of steam. She does not want to slip deep and create a pocket. Well, in the words of my good buddy Kevin Martin, who commentates on Sportsnet, that is disaster. That enables Michelle to come down with the in-turn draw and weld one to the face of that yellow, or bump it back ever so slightly and possibly ensure the force, or possibly even a steal. Either or, I think Team Englot would be plenty happy with. But before they're happy with that, they need to be happy with their rock they're about to throw. Worried about it on the last shot. Seems to be no worry here. Michelle looking for the in-turn draw, freeze right to the button. Sweeper's on it right out of her hands. Gotta go, because she has to be there. Or we could see the mitts being pulled off here, folks. Can they get it there? Looks like the chain was slightly yanked there, folks. Coach Jerry Adam has turned his eyes back to the football game, and that can't be a good thing. Robyn Silvernagle left for a wide open draw to the paint for 3 points, and I'm quite certain handshakes. Clean is always a good sign when person at the head of the house and the thrower are asking for just a clean. Needing a piece of the paint for a 3 ball. And is it hungry? It's a nibbler, folks. Count them up. 1, 2, 3. We have an 11 field goal, folks. Make it a final. 8-3 for Robyn Silvernagle, who are the champions of the SaskTel Curling Stadium women's curling event here in Swift Current. I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in and putting up with me and my nonsense. I've been told I have a great face to do commentary, so thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching curling. Please like, share Curling Stadium, Curling Zone, Swift Current Club, and continue to log on and watch live curling as we bring it to you live on the Swift Current Curling Club. Take care, folks, and go Rough Riders.
Imagine being able to stream every curling game from every sheet from any event, be it your Wednesday league game, Spiel, or corporate event. Curling Stadium offers an all-inclusive streaming solution featuring high-quality cameras, ease of use, great reliability, and minimal installation. Offering your sponsors customizable ad space on your streamed curling games and being able to sell video packages to your corporate events for increased revenue. With Curling Stadium, you can stream to any device, be it your mobile phone, tablet, or computer. Push the feed to your desired platform, be it Facebook, YouTube, or any other social media. Curling Stadium is simply the way forward. Where it's commonplace in other sports to televise every game, we want to do the same. Curling is a global sport, and it's time it gets the coverage it needs. Make your curling club the next Curling Stadium.
Saskatchewan, you know SaskTel because we're everywhere. Because being everywhere keeps us connected to you. You are what matters most. With SaskTel sponsorships, we get to be a part of your community. From the dance competitions, to the rodeos, to helping discover and embrace technology across the province, we're here with you and we're here for you. It's easy to get started. All you need to do is apply. Every year, SaskTel contributes nearly $3 million to approximately 1,000 nonprofits, charities, associations, and events in more than 200 communities across Saskatchewan. So keep dancing, keep laughing, keep discovering, and we'll be there to help, to lend a hand, and join in the fun. SaskTel cares. Always has, always will, because we are dedicated to our home. To apply for sponsorship, visit SaskTel.com/sponsorships.